I'm Merely Caruso. It's Wednesday, October 8th. Today.
It was definitely a difficult battle for him, and so he feels quite vindicated that it has ended the way that it has.
Charges are stayed for a Winnipeg fashion tycoon accused of sexual assault. Also today, Canada's most wanted.
These dangerous individuals are somewhere among us right now.
The Winnipeg fugitives considered some of the most dangerous in the country. Plus, moving removal.
Yeah, so this van is going to be a life changer.
A local tattoo removal company gets a gift that will allow it to go. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It's one of the most watched trials in Canada. A former Winnipeg high-profile fashion mogul charged with sexual assault and unlawful confinement. And tonight, charges against Peter Nygard have been stayed. Joining me now to break it all down for us is CTV's Taylor Brock. Taylor, what does this ruling mean?
Well, Marilee, it means Nygard won't stand trial for the charges. This after his lawyer argued in a Winnipeg courtroom Nygard couldn't receive a fair trial because police destroyed the evidence against him.
There is a fundamental unfairness to an accused where the evidence of what was said back then isn't available to them.
Peter Nygard founded Nygard International in 1967, a Winnipeg-based company that produced women's clothing. In 2023, Nygard was charged after a woman came forward with allegations she was sexually assaulted at a Winnipeg warehouse in 1993. That woman allegedly spoke with police in 2 interviews, one in Winnipeg and the other Vancouver. However, reports from those interviews were later destroyed. The judge ruled that without those police records, Nygard was denied his right to a fair trial. Nygard's lawyer, Jerry Wiebe, says it's likely the records were destroyed due to police classification policies at the time.
Various police forces have different retention policies for how long they keep evidence and information, and it seems that these were classified as check well-being or something along those lines, and that type of interaction with a person in the public generally is only retained for a year or 2. And so the issue was surrounding the classification of this interaction with the complainant in this matter, and also whether a year or 2 retention policy in circumstances like this is reasonable.
Nygard did attend today's hearing virtually. Wiebe says her client is satisfied with the outcome and feels vindicated. She says there are no other remaining charges against Nygard here in Manitoba.
But Taylor, this isn't Nygard's only legal battle, though, is it?
No, it isn't, Marilee. Nygard is still facing a trial on sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the United States on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Last year, he was sentenced to 11 years for sex offenses in Toronto. CTV's Danton Unger has much more on this story. You can watch his full report on CTV News at 6.
All right, thanks for this, Taylor. It's a Canada's most wanted list, and Winnipeg is home to 3 of the country's worst offenders still on the loose. Number 4 is Tresor Horembari, wanted for first-degree murder in Winnipeg. There's a $100,000 reward for anyone who helps police make an arrest. At number 7 is Chad Dandan, wanted for first-degree murder, kidnapping, and extortion. And Youssef Abdul Kader Ali is wanted for 2 counts of attempted murder and multiple firearm-related charges. He's at number 17. The Be on the Lookout program, or BOLO, released its 25 most wanted list today in Vancouver. It began in 2018 as a national public awareness campaign. The program encourages Canadians to stay alert and help locate fugitives. Today, models resembling the suspects, complete with realistic-looking masks, took the stage behind the podium.
It may feel uncomfortable, especially if you're in this room today, to see the 25 most wanted fugitives in flesh behind me. And it should. On the one hand, these fugitives have been awarded BOLO top 25 spots, not only because of the major crimes they're charged with, but because they know they're wanted and they're actively evading arrest. On the other hand, make no mistake, these dangerous individuals are somewhere among us right now.
If you have
this afternoon.
If you have any information about these three men, you're asked to call the Bolo tip line at 431-334-9160. By the way, number one on the list is a Toronto murder suspect. The Manitoba Bar Association is denouncing comments made by Premier Wab Kinew. As you saw here on CTV News last night during question period in the Manitoba legislature, Kinew criticized a bail decision rendered by a Manitoba judge. Here's what he had to say.
In this particular instance, I think we have to, with all respect that we have for the justice system, encourage our judges and justices of the peace to reflect on the role that their decisions will have when they are learned of by the public.
The case involves a fatal crash near Altona last November that killed 35-year-old Sarah Unger and her 8-year-old daughter Alexa. Navjeet Singh is charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death. This week, a judge granted bail to Singh, even though he had previously evaded police for 9 months by leaving Canada. Singh is now back in Canada to face trial. This week, a judge granted bail, allowing Singh to live in Ontario with a number of conditions. In a release, the Bar Association says Kinew's comments could affect the fairness of a trial and pose a serious threat to judiciary independence. It says, quote, Premier Kinew's remarks undermined public confidence in the administration of justice and run counter to the constitutional principles that separate the judicial and legislative branches of government, and politicizing individual court decisions, particularly in active cases, undermines the safeguards that ensure fair and impartial justice for all Manitobans. Manitoba's Justice Minister was asked whether he thought the Premier's comments were appropriate. Here's what Matt Wiebe had to say.
Well, as I said, the Premier's words were very clear. He made a very clear distinction between the role of the judiciary and the role of the legislative branch in government. And now I know he was, talking in general terms about the frustrations that he's heard in community. What I'm saying as the Attorney General, I'm clear about the role and the separation between those two branches, and I'm clear that we're going to support the judicial system to make sure that Manitobans are getting the justice that they deserve.
The trial is scheduled to resume in December. A Winnipeg man is in custody after a bank robbery yesterday evening. Police say around 6:30, someone went to the front counter of the bank on Corden Avenue and handed a note to the teller. They made off in a vehicle after receiving an undisclosed amount of cash. About 7 hours later, police arrested a suspect at a home in the South River Heights area. A 29-year-old man is charged with robbery. Soon enough, motorists will be driving through snow and ice, and Manitoba Public Insurance is opening registration for winter driving courses. The course is designed to avoid scenarios like this, giving students the knowledge and skills they need to drive safely in winter. It's part of MPI's Driver Zed High School driver education program. There are 2,900 seats available for the winter session, which runs from December through to February. Registration begins on October 15th at 8 a.m. But first, new drivers will need to register as an MPI customer at an MPI service center or Autopack broker. On the 15th, the center is open early to help customers prepare for registration. You can also call the MPI Contact Center or its driver education phone line. The MPI website has all of the information you need. All right, let's bring in Catherine Dow now and get a first look at our Skywatch evening forecast. Hopefully we have some driving time before that snow and ice flies.
Yeah, that hurt my eyes to see that winter driving footage. I'm not ready, Mary Lee.
No.
Yes, and it's good news for us, for those who are not looking to inch any closer to winter. Our conditions have been feeling decidedly unwinter-like, even a little bit more late summer in some cases. Not a lot to show you here on the radar. Same for some increasing cloudiness to the north. There is a slight chance of some rainfall to very northern portions of our province. Meanwhile, us here in the south, while we've got clear, lovely conditions for the next couple of days, we're not immune. We're likely going to be seeing some rainfall later on this week. I will tell you when and where that rainfall is likely to hit a little later on in the newscast. But right now, let's cast our eyes to the sky, shall we? Clear skies, very clear, 17 degrees. Very gusty, though. That's been the other kind of takeaway from today, with those southerly winds at 40, gusting at times to 52 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity at 29%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
And your first check-in on traffic brings us out to sunny Portage Avenue, crawling with activity. Very bright, moving on at a good clip there. No major stalls or crashes to point out there. Looks like a good route to take home.
The Winnipeg Jets sign a contract extension with one of its top players. We're going to show you who it is. Plus, it's a program that gives you a rebate for security upgrades to your home. What you need to know about the Manitoba Security Rebate Program.
Morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Cenovus is raising its takeover offer of MEG Energy, even though the MEG board already approved its original offer. The new proposal values MEG at $8.6 billion, including debt, and that's $7 million more than the first offer. Cenovus says shareholders had requested changes. Strathcona Resources also has an offer on the table, but MEG's board has urged shareholders to reject it. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar barely moved. It ended the day at 71.65. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 62.02. Western Canadian Select is up to $50.65. And the TSX gained 150 points today, ending the day at 30,501. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
A provincial program offering a rebate for security upgrades to your home is being renewed. The government is once again accepting applications for its security rebate program. The program offers up to $300 back for the cost of security upgrades, such as cameras, alarm systems, locks, and other such equipment. It's open to homeowners and tenants and can be used towards items purchased on or after August 23rd of last year. There's no deadline to apply, but the program will end once the funds run out. You can head to the province's website to apply. A separate program for businesses is expected to launch later in the year. Just days before the start of the season, the Winnipeg Jets have secured one of its top players. Kyle Connor has signed an 8-year contract extension with the Jets worth $96 million US. The star left winger had 41 goals and 56 assists for the Jets last season. The two-time All-Star also won the Lady Byng Trophy in 2022 for his sportsmanlike play. Winnipeg drafted Connor in the first round in 2015. He's played 9 seasons in Winnipeg. The Jets' home opener is set for October 9th against the Dallas Stars. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are headed to Edmonton this week after a decisive victory in Hamilton.
He wants a deep shot instead.
With only 3 games to go in the regular season, the Bombers sit in 4th spot in the CFL's West Division. They beat the Elks in their only meeting back in June. Head coach Mike O'Shea is working on his roster and says part of his job is to mix up the players every week.
You should be looking at your roster and trying to move it around on a weekly basis to give you the best chance every single week. And a lot of times that just amounts to continuity, and sometimes it amounts to, you know, making some different changes based on a completely different game plan, you know.
The Bombers take on the Edmonton Elks at Commonwealth Stadium Saturday at 6 o'clock. Look at them go. And Winnipeg junior varsity football teams opened up this week 7 in an exciting matchup at River East Collegiate. Miles Mack Collegiate won this game 35-3. Also in JV football Tuesday, Brandon's Vincent Massey High School beat Grant Park 20-14. And John Taylor Collegiate won 25-6 against Kildonan East Collegiate. A local theater company is helping celebrate 50 years of doing The Time Warp.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Paula Cole and Sophie B. Hawkins.
Catherine Dow is back now for Spotlight, and it appears spooky season is well underway at Assiniboine Park Zoo.
Yes, and we went out to visit Boo at the Zoo today just to see how scary it is. As you know, Boo at the Zoo is back with its creepy cast of characters, performers, and family activities. New this year, part of the zoo has been turned into its own hair-raising town, Spookyville, complete with its own jail and haunted mansion. Organizers say the frightening fun transcends generations.
I think it's a bit of like that nostalgia factor of when they came as a kid and now they kind of get to relive that, and they also kind of bring their littles back to the zoo. And I think it's also a really fun activity to do inside the city that is accessible, that's engaging and fun, full of snacks, full of rides, that it's an all-in-one spot for your celebration of spooky season.
And of course, costumes are highly encouraged. Just leave the props at home. Boo at the Zoo runs Wednesday through Sunday all month long. An extra creepy adults-only night goes October 31st.
It was one of the favorite things I used to do with my kids at this time of year.
It's the best.
It is. It's a good time. Just the right amount of scary.
Exactly. It's about all I can take.
Exactly. Now to another Halloween classic tradition underway.
That's right. A local theater company is helping celebrate 50 years of doing the time warp. That's a little sneak peek at Dramatic Theater Company's production of the Rocky Horror Show. The gender-bending cult classic musical is widely believed to be the longest-running theatrical release in history, played on stages and screens almost continually since it gained traction with the midnight showing crowd.
Richard O'Brien, when he wrote this, it was a love letter to the movies that he grew up watching. So we're talking about science fiction, we're talking about B-movie acting, rock and roll, drag, glam, and muscle movies. So it just became like there's something in it for everyone.
Yeah.
And anyone who's ever felt like an outsider can relate to some aspect of the story.
The Dramatic Theater Company's production of the Rocky Horror Show runs between October 31st and November 2nd. The Centennial Concert Hall is also holding a film screening with a live shadow cast and an appearance by Patricia Quinn, who played Magenta in the film. That's on October 26th.
Very cool. All right, this next story could be your chance for the adventure of a lifetime.
That's right. So casting is now open for season 12 of The Amazing Race Canada.
Must figure out that their next clue is on the east side of the bridge, next to a statue of the bridge.
You're just going to need to find a partner who could be a friend, relative, spouse, or just someone you're close to, and send in an application. The show is looking for people who are adventurous, problem solvers, and strong communicators. You can head to ctv.ca/The Amazing Race Canada for information on how to apply.
Those are some strong skills.
I don't have any of them, barely.
Usually people that think they have those, we watch them crumble on television.
At least I'm aware of my shortcomings.
But we love to watch it, so send those applications in.
It's the best.
All right, thanks, Catherine.
You're welcome. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with Shifting Gears, followed by a double shot of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and of course The Amazing Race at 8:30. And The Floor wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. We head on over to Notre Dame, where traffic relatively light for this time of day. Nothing there to slow you down. It is sunny, though. Grab the shades.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon. CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
It was a rather sunny and lovely Wednesday in Winnipeg. Clear sunny skies and the clear conditions expected to continue through southern Manitoba tonight. To the north, you're seeing more of a speckling of clouds as those are expected to build. Let's go clicker. There we go. However, our Futurecast has been kind of painting a portrait of a system that has been developing. It came from the Northwest Territories, and it's likely to kind of hover over the very northern portions of our province, bringing a good likelihood of some showers overnight to Churchill. And as the evening spreads, or fans out, excuse me, so too does that system. So look for potential for a rainy day, if not a little sunny to kick us off. And then those that chance of rain comes into the afternoon. While we stay relatively clear, we could could get a little bit of cloud coverage into the late afternoon. But the good news is we are going to be dealing with above seasonal values once again here in southern Manitoba. Today we were a few degrees above, and tonight we're not losing a ton of heat either. 10 degrees is what we're looking at under those clear skies. The other takeaway from today was those very strong southerly winds. They're sticking around overnight as well, at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, though, I mentioned above seasonal to the tune of 19 degrees with increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. Winds let up a little bit once again out of the south at 20. From there, Friday's looking lovely, a little bit cooler at 16 degrees, but still above seasonal. Saturday, not too shabby, even hotter, 18 degrees under those clear skies. However, Saturday night, we're likely to get some rainfall coming and sticking around through a few days. Sunday, periods of rain expected 17. And then Monday, that heat really cuts in half there with a high of 8 on Thanksgiving Monday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Maureen snapped this lovely sunset in Clandeboye. I got to tell you, we got a lot of amazing sunset pictures. So thank you to Maureen for sending this one in. And that gorgeous moon, sort of eerie, as Trina pointed out, peeking through the trees there in Roblin. Thank you to you both for submitting, and keep those weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Catherine. A local woman who offers free tattoo removal for former gang members and others looking for a fresh start is expanding her operations.
Yeah, so this van is going to be a life changer.
Della Stanky owns Mother Inc. She recently had a meeting with the Justice Minister to discuss the services she offers, and he was so impressed he offered her a new van. Stanky says it allows her to begin offering tattoo removal in the north and already has plans to visit the Paw Correctional Center. She says demand for her services has exploded in recent years. She visits about 4 local prisons every week and estimates she has more than 700 clients.
Not only is it a safety thing, but it's actually giving people a fresh start. You know, some of them are in their 30s and 40s and getting their first job, their first apartment, and they're so proud of that. They don't want to ever go back to that lifestyle or anything. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier. I mean, this is just my dream, is to keep this going forward. And if I can, I'll do this for another 20, 25 years if I can.
Stanky says she even hopes to one day offer her services in other provinces as well.
Good
nice
for her.
Wheels.
Well, yeah, and with that beautiful pink logo, you see her coming. I love it.
Great work. All right, that does it for us this hour, but don't go far. We'll be back at 6 o'clock with much more local news. Hope to see you then.